kept seeing a car go into the water. All day they've been showing me reruns in my mind of Adventures with Purpose. VP's gonna find her in the Prosser Lake.
We have found Kylie Rodney's vehicle. Again, our search for Kylie at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10.
There are plenty of questions and very few answers after 4 students at the University of Idaho were found murdered in their off-campus house.
It's like if you look at Ted Bundy's eyes and you look at his eyes, they're the same. Maybe a little bit lighter. The one thing that I keep seeing is curls. So I don't know if he has curly hair or wavy hair, and that might be when it's grown out. I think he elongated, like his face might be a little bit longer. There's a reference to a pointier type nose. He honestly looks a lot like Ted Bundy, but like a jacked up Ted Bundy. Like not as handsome. I keep getting like a security guard or a badge. Like a Brian or something like that. It's because they are going to catch him. Because I'm seeing him in an orange jumpsuit. He wasn't as smart as he thought he was. Okay. He's probably going to go to jail for this eventually. I keep getting December.
The name Richard again.
I also get the name Rick. Damn name Allen is coming in again.
Jailed 50-year-old Richard Allen in connection with the double murder. Teen best friends Libby German and Abby Williams went hiking on a trail and never came home.
Done on November 20th, 2019 at 7:14 p.m. Quentin, but I'm seeing trash and I don't.
9:42 Wednesday morning. Quentin Simon's mom told 911 her little boy was gone.
I do keep hearing a trash truck though. Then I keep hearing the trash truck. It's almost, that's one thing I can't get rid of is the twisting of the trash bag. And so then I'm like, well, is he in the trash? Okay. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. I do hear landfill could be the...
Well, new tonight, a heartbreaking search underway in Georgia for a missing toddler. Police are sifting through trash at a landfill for the remains of 20-month-old Quentin Simon.
And I felt like he was going to be found. That was earlier in the day.
3-year-old boy found alive and in good health.
And I said, like, within 3 miles, but I'm not seeing him being hurt, and I'm not seeing someone coming up and getting him.
And I said, were you alone? Yes.
The main 2 things I keep getting is the wooded area and the shed.
Well, to take cover in that shed.
Late into the night to find.
I see him running to the woods. Oh, I keep getting a repeated image of him running to the woods. Okay. So maybe he decided he wanted to go play and then he kind of got lost in the woods. Be within 2 miles. I keep getting a reference to the edge of the woods. And so he's still alive because I'm not using him to get this information.
Right.
Around in the woods like I can't find my way out. I'm stuck. And I said he's in a bush.
Okay. I went across a field of grass. I came up on some woods. Sure enough, I went in the woods and about 100 feet from where I was at. I think he was in some stickers. There's a lot of stickers and all there.
Tonight in our Missing series, a case that we have heard a lot about from our viewers.
He wants to take me down the road to like a neighbor's house or something, like another farm. I also hear neighbor. He said he knows this guy. He knows him. And he's a neighbor. I don't know what the friends come in.
Suspect, 58-year-old James Brenner, who also happens to be Dylan's closest neighbor in the remote desert area of Lucin.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Psychic Sleuth. So today I'm going to be working on Elijah Vue. It's kind of weird because it's my son's name, but for the last few days I've kind of been bugged by it. I've been wanting to get to it, trying to get to it, but unfortunately I'm only one person, so I get to things as I can. And Ted kind of showed us in the last Rachel Morin reading, we found out that the tombstones are actually by where Elijah went missing from. So I think he was kind of leading me, saying that this was the next case and this is important. So those kind of make sense now. I didn't know that at the time. I try to kind of stay away from things. And also Green might fit there because it's close to Green Bay. I don't know if there's any other reason.
So it seems to happen sometimes with readings with the interconnects. So if you want to know how interconnects work, because not everything will fit this case, just like not everything will fit every case that I do try to keep the interconnects to a minimum, but I have absolutely no, it's not up to me how things come in. Things come in for a reason, and sometimes it's like future precognitive information, like for Rachel Moore, and it seems like a lot of precognitive information came in that in the last reading. And so the same thing kind of happened with kind of it'll send me on the next path. So it doesn't happen as much with these types of readings as it does with Autowrites, but it still does happen. So and with this one, I'm going to do another TED Talk because he's 3 for 3 on location. He's really good at location, and he still works with the victims. And especially if someone's alive, it's easier, which I'm not feeling great about that, but we won't get to that yet. But he seems to like help facilitate and help show me locations a lot better. He was very accurate in his Audrey reading. So if you haven't seen that, because I noticed that a lot of people watch one reading and then they're done. Readings are about puzzle pieces. So if I do multiple readings, you have to take all the readings and put them together. And sometimes, again, there might be things that we don't know, we may never know, but everything comes through for a reason. That's why I try to explain to people. So if you listen carefully and intently, you will put the puzzle pieces together. That's what readings are. That's just the way that it works. Everything happens in the timing that it's supposed to happen, and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. So say I had a direct location, it doesn't matter. He'll be found when and how he's meant to be found. If I'm meant to help find a person, that's what'll happen. If I'm not, I won't. It's just the way that it is. But I don't know why it works so well. TED giving information, but it does. So we use that because we use any tool that we can to get any information that we can. That's what's important. It's important to get the information and find the missing person, or help find a missing person, or put puzzle pieces towards that. And as you guys know, I'll put a link in the description box below on why I work with Ted and how he's in the light and all of that. There's a video I made of it. And we are not our humanity, so we do have to remember that. We're not our humanity, and he's been helping me with cases since he's been in the light. And, we're different on the other side. We have lessons and things that we use here. We go to the other side, and we go through also a journey there. So, he's helped with, he was right about JJ. He was right about Audrey. He helps with kids' cases specifically for some reason, like really well. Maybe because they can't truly explain where they are sometimes. I just notice a difference in the information I get and how vivid it is as well. So it doesn't mean that I won't communicate with the spirit, because I'm going back and forth between it, unless they're alive, but I'm going back and forth between him and the spirit, and usually they are with him, and he's kind of helped facilitate. So I just like to explain that. So please, before you guys comment anything, listen to the way that I work, because there's a lot of comments and questions and things in the comment section, and I do like to educate. So if you want to know how this works, it's important to listen to my introduction, and that's why I do this. That's why I explain it. And also, if there are any issues with the mic or anything like that, keep in mind that Spirit does put EVPs in the mic. Spirit does use the energy, so things might not always be perfect. It's just the way that it is. All right. All the ways to support me are down below. If you would like to join one of the spirit-led groups, I'm into two. I have June 8th and June 22nd available. And I may add more in like the months I've already added them, but I'm trying not to do too many as I don't want to get overloaded. So that's where we're at now. And if you want to do that, just email me at thepsychicsleuth@gmail.com. So I'm just going to go into, another thing, please do not put cases in other people's videos. I feel like it takes away, not that other missing people aren't important. They very much are. And I love to see about other cases and stuff, but I do go where I'm drawn. Cases pick me. I don't pick them. And there is actually a group, the Psychic Sleuth podcast, where you can put your information into a submission page, or submission post, but I actually haven't gotten to it because, again, I go where I'm led. I do what Spirit says, and everything has a timing, so that's why it works that way. And I feel like when we put people's cases in comments, it kind of takes away from what we're trying to do right there. It's like, let's finish this case before we move on to the next one. It just gets a little overwhelming, I think. And I think it kind of like takes away from the person I'm working on. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but you can put it in other posts, just not their video, not the video of the missing person. Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to explain really quick how this works. Keep in mind that when it comes to location and missing people, it is description, it is directions. So you have to kind of follow the description and the directions. I do remote view when I do location, so a lot of times I am either a third party in their shoes or in the perp's shoes. So there's been times where I've been in like their position where I've seen things from their view. And there's been times where I've been like someone following them, and there's been times where I've seen it through the perpetrator's eyes. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind as well. I don't think I've explained that before, but when it comes to location, it is a form of remote viewing for me, and description and direction. Okay, so things pass by on the way, things to look for, all of that. So information that comes in can be past, present, and future. It can be symbolic. It's not always literal in the way that I see it. Sometimes it's even metaphoric in the way that I see it. And things can also have multiple meanings. So months, numbers, things like that can have more than one meaning. Descriptions, whatever. So spirit will often use my references, experiences, how I relate to things to try to explain what they're wanting to say. So they will use different things that I know, seen, how I relate to things to try to describe it to me, because it is a telepathic communication. So they will use symbols and visions and things like that, and I have to translate that to you. So I might not always perceive it right. So however we perceive it, it makes the most sense to the case is what spirit's trying to say. But I do try to perceive it the best way that I can, and I will give sometimes examples of what it could mean or what it usually means to me whenever I get that certain symbol or vision. So as I get information, Carrie, who is sitting in as a guest today, is going to validate. So she's going to validate what she knows. If not, she's just going to be somebody there to like, for me to talk to, for the energy to go back and forth. She doesn't have to validate everything. That's not the point of a sitter. The point of a sitter is having someone to talk to keep the energy flowing. Okay. So please be kind to my sitters. They're doing this out of the kindness of their heart. This is their time and energy. You know, I don't need somebody that knows everything about true crime or everything about cases to do this. It's not the point of a sitter. The point of a sitter is just somebody, so I'm not sitting there talking to myself. I'm giving somebody a reading, if that makes sense. That's the way that it works. So please be kind to each other in the comments. Please be kind in everyday life, all right? And please be kind to my sitter, because I will mute you, but because they're here helping give the voice, a voice to the voiceless. That's the whole point. They're taking time out of their day. So let's respect them, no matter who's up here. But this is a guest sitter, Carrie, because Lizzie's on a night out tonight. So good for her. So keep in mind, I do feel things in my body if a spirit is coming in or if I'm being shown a passing. It's more like a description. And there may be multiple descriptions. It may be feelings that I feel, things like that. But I will let you guys know what that is. And it might have something to do with their passing, or it might be an ailment or symptom. It's not always that. But I'm telling you right now, I'm getting a headache. So that's not great. So keep in mind, again, this is puzzle pieces, all right? And I will just tell you guys what I see. And I will not get every piece of the puzzle. It doesn't work like that. I'll get what I meant to get and the timing I meant to get it. That's just the way that it works, okay? This is for entertainment purposes only. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And in this one, in this case, I strongly am going to tell you, I will be as gentle as I can, but viewer discretion is advised. If you have a hard time with kids, something happening with kids, just tread carefully on this. But again, I am gentle and I am respectful in the way that I explain things. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring on Carrie. And I'm going to start scribbling, and that's how I bring stuff in. All right. There's Carrie.
Hi, everyone.
All right. Good thing is that she's like in Australia, right? So it's daytime there. So it makes it a little bit easier. Since I never know when I'm going to work, I'm just like, hey, anybody available right now? Because I'm on a whim. And usually I don't work Sundays. So it's just a rare thing. I've been wanting to do this case for a while. So we're going to see. I'm just going back and forth between the two. I'm getting a pain right here in my temple, in my head. And I haven't felt really good about this, honestly. How old is he? I'm getting through 3. Do we know how old he is?
Yeah, he's 3 years old.
Oh, okay. I wasn't even sure about that. Because Ted's again stepping forward with no, I don't think he's. I never like to say if someone's alive or not. Because I could always misread the energy, but whenever I think it's almost like Ted steps forward with them to show me that, because I'll question it. So it ends up being very vivid in my mind. He's holding his hand, and he's standing there with a blanket I think he always carried. It feels like it's something that was comforting to him. I feel like he always carried it. I know that they did say that he was, missing with his red plaid blanket or whatever it was, but they're showing me with it. So if I say something, it's because I see it, and yes, facts will come in, but that's just because they happen and it happens. But I do try to stay away from everything. So it's like almost he's showing me. He's stepping forward with Elijah. He's holding his hand. Elijah's got like the blanket, but he's got like a piece of it in his mouth, like the end of it. So you don't know if he liked to suck on this or whatever, or if he's just a little kid standing there. Now our souls are ageless, but they always come to us how we would know them. So he's standing there with him. But I feel like the blanket was like a comfort to him, and that's because of the life he led. He like hung on to that blanket because I feel like I get a lot of mental illness around the mom for some reason. And I feel like she doesn't handle herself well. She doesn't handle situations well. Like it feels like severe mental illness. Like this isn't something that's like, I don't even know why she had this child, because it's coming across as like she didn't know how to take care of him. And if he would act out like kids do at this age, because we've all, people that have had kids, we've all had kids that are 2 and 3 years old. They're not easy, but it's like she doesn't know how to handle that that age, or like if he would throw a fit, or what it would be. She doesn't know how to handle it. She can't deal with it. It's mentally she's not capable. And I don't know if there's some type of like substances in the past, or if it's just having to do with like her medications, but there's something about substances coming in. But it's like I also get a reference to like I keep seeing her going like this, like she doesn't, I don't know if she's even in this reality, is the way that it kind of comes across. And I just feel like she did it, like if it's like a kid, for like a kid, they're acting bad to us, it's like, okay, there's a temper tantrum, you deal with it however you deal with it, in the way they deal with it with kids. Sometimes it's, put them in timeout or whatever it may be. But with her, it's like, it was like, I don't know if she thought he had a demon in him, or if he thought that he was, there was something wrong with him, or she just couldn't handle it. And I don't even think like he's that bad. You know what I mean? He's not a bad kid. I think he's more scared than anything else. It's almost like a delusional feeling, I feel like, with her and towards him, and the way that she thought about him. And I don't know. I keep getting a reference to like she herself was neglectful, and almost like I don't feed him a lot, because there's a reference to him being skinny, like, so I don't know if he was like a little underweight than he should have been. And there's a reference to like maybe only, it's like scarcity of toys, or scarcity of food, like not the way that you and I would take care of a kid. That's the way that it's coming across. Okay. And maybe even there's a reference to a closet. So I don't know if she kept him in a closet or he would hide in a closet, but there's a reference to being in a dark place in a closet. And it's like I got, but it's like a pillow and a blanket in there. It's weird. So I don't know if he was hiding in there or she was putting him in there. That's what I can't tell.
but it's like a reference to like a dark, a dark place. And I'm feeling like super hot right now for some reason, like heat flashes. I'm getting heat flashes, which sometimes spirit will give me like heat flashes like that. I get hot, not cold. I don't know. It's almost like even when he wasn't doing anything, in her mind, he was doing something bad, or he was going to grow up to be a bad kid, or he was like, it's almost like I keep feeling like she's delusional in the kind of kid he was, almost like you're evil or something, but he wasn't. I don't know how to explain that. Other than the way that she's looking at him and his behaviors isn't like the way like me and you would see like a typical kid. That's the best way I can see it. I also feel like any little thing would kind of drive her like up the wall. Like she couldn't deal with it. I get like a temper thing, like yelling and screaming, like she can't handle it emotionally. She couldn't handle being a mom emotionally, but actually I get like postpartum. So I'm wondering if she didn't have postpartum that was not ever taken care of. And then it comes across as like, I just keep getting the severe, I get like bipolar, but I also get like a severe, like, I don't really know what it is. It feels like a personality disorder, but it's, he's showing me like her brain, like just isn't right. And I don't know if that's coming from like stuff in her past, that can change your brain, or if it's just the way that she is. But it seems to be like, I get the word shady past, so I don't know again if she was hooked up with like shady people, if there's shady things going on. There's something about, I keep seeing a guy in jail, but it's not where's the dad? Where's the baby's dad? Is he in jail? Do we know?
I'm not sure about his dad, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the dad.
Because it's almost like the dad isn't around. I feel like the dad's in jail, or there's a history of jail, but I keep wanting to, they keep showing me like a guy that looks like he could be his dad with handcuffs and in like jail, in a jail cell. So I don't know it's almost like mom was there alone, but mom was, I don't even want to call her mom because she didn't act like a mom. I hate to say that, but she wasn't very, I feel like in the very beginning, she might have had some moments, but I keep seeing like her, even as a baby, like putting him down somewhere and him crying. Like, I'm surprised he's made it to 3. I hate to say that. I'm not trying to be like, I'm not judgmental in any way, but there's also like a shift, shift. But this kid, I don't feel was ever really taken care of, and for some reason it slipped under the system. So I don't know if people didn't call, or people didn't know, or like he was hidden away and it wasn't really out there that this was going on. But there's definitely neglect in the home, where it's like emotionally, physically, it's neglectful. He's just somebody to, like, he's just a kid that's there, but she doesn't really know how to take care of him. That's the best way I could think of it.
There is a guy involved with.
Yeah, but that's not who I'm seeing in jail. This would be a father figure. I do know that there is a guy Jesse involved. I do know that.
Right.
This is something that's different. This is almost like a father figure, because I keep going back to family dynamics. And it's almost like maybe she felt like, because the father isn't around to discipline her child, she had to send him to another father figure or another guy. So I don't know. Almost like she knew him from the community, or she knew him through the dad. Something of that sort. So I don't think my dog's that. Maybe. There's a reference to a 3-week time period.
All right. So, for some reason, this reading doesn't feel as clear as I would like it.
Well, pretty much.
It's almost like something like I don't know if she knew this guy like through her like. It's almost like I wonder if he has connections to dad or like through like some kind of weird community or something that she knew him through. There's some kind of, I don't know. I keep going back to like maybe connections to dad, but
I wasn't able to find anything.
Yeah.
Online.
It's because I know like I don't know what I think he's like the same race as dad would be, because I don't know what race is. I know it's like a Asian, like an Asian, there's an Asian so it's almost like I want to connect this guy to dad or connect this guy to like that Asian race, but almost like I hear enforcer. So I don't know if like he had real weird ways that he did things, but almost like an enforcer. And in this guy, he doesn't look as kids. It's the weirdest thing.
Apparently he was the disciplinarian.
My goodness. Sorry about that. Everything's going crazy. All right. So I'm wondering how long like he was really missing, because I don't think he was really. I think he was missing longer than what they're saying. The timeline feels off. I feel like there's an off timeline, but there's a reference to like 3 weeks that's coming in.
Well, she did send him to the enforcer for discipline. And that was for a period of time. I'm not sure if it was for 1 or 2 weeks, but he was with the enforcer.
Which is ridiculous because he's 3 years old.
Mm.
There's nothing to enforce. And the crazy thing is like he's a very sweet kid. It doesn't come across as like he's really bad or anything, other than acting out like a normal 3-year-old. And maybe that's why, is because he didn't feel loved, he didn't feel taken care of, and maybe he was even afraid. I get a lot of fear. Like he is afraid to even breathe or be, because mom's gonna get upset or this other guy's gonna get upset. But it's almost like I don't know if that's like I don't know if it's like, I don't know if I want to call it tradition or like something to do with like the way like maybe not saying like the rest of the family, but maybe the dad and like certain Asian beliefs. I don't know how else to explain it.
Like traditions?
Yeah, kind of like traditions, but like their Asian beliefs. Like I keep getting like maybe she thought like there was some kind of something supernatural wrong with him or something. It's very weird, the feeling I'm getting, like almost like an exorcism.
Wow.
It just got that feeling that maybe in her mind that's what she thought, and she's saying to this guy, and this guy, he takes pleasure out on torturing people and things and whatever it may be. But I mean, he's like 3 years old. There's a reference to like getting my hand smacked with like a spoon or something, something wooden. Not it wouldn't be a spoon. I guess it would be something wooden, like like one of those little wooden sticks or wooden. You keep getting a reference to like my hand getting hit like that. And there's a reference to like being put in dark places or put in a cage or something like that, like no food.
It's like different things were done. But it's like in the course of all these things that were done, like it's almost like, I hate to say it, but his body couldn't take it anymore. Like there's something that happened in the course of all this that was just too much. But there's lying going on about when he actually went missing. Because that 3 weeks is standing out to me, but also there's the timeline's off. Like it's almost like they had to obviously say that he was missing, but it's like he was missing longer than I kind of get that reference like Cali Boys, like where they were missing before a while before they were ever said to be missing, or Harmony, or those kind of cases where it's like they were missing longer than what was said. And I don't feel like this kid ran off. He was 3 years old. I mean, you would think being a scared kid he would have, but I keep seeing locks on the doors, so I feel like he was locked in wherever he was. Mom
did lie to police. She did.
I think they both did. I think there's a timeline thing that's coming up that's like it's not the right timeline. Like I keep going back to like maybe the Saturday before, or it's like days, like even a few days before, but maybe even longer. I don't know. There's a reference to that, like that 3 weeks is coming in. I think that came in Audrey's reading or something. Someone reading. I remember getting that before, but there's that sort of reference. Everything's kind of foggy right now. Like sometimes I can see things pretty clearly sometimes, but for some reason I have a hard time seeing a lot of stuff with him for some reason. I don't know why. It's like almost like a foggy glass, or like everything's kind of blurry a little bit with me right now. It's not as clear. It's almost like the discipline went too far. That's the way it's coming in, but I've got a headache with that. I've got a headache and, a little bit of an issue breathing, or like there's a reference to like my throat or my neck area. But there's also a panic. There's a panic around this. Like I hear a female and a male arguing. Almost like you went too far. What did you do? That kind of arguing. Like there's a reference to arguing back and forth about what happened. How could you let this happen? What did you do? Like they're both to blame for this but again, I feel like the system is hugely to blame because I don't know if there was prior CPS calls or prior calls, but it's almost like the baby shouldn't have been in that. He should have been put into foster care a long time ago. He should have been taken away a long time. That's the way it comes across, because I feel like mom's got a lot of problems. And I don't know if she's on the state assistance because of those. I know she's on state assistance, but I'm just wondering if it's because of mental health. Because I get like she's not.
I did read where it says that she knew exactly the way the other person would discipline the child. She was aware of the tactics.
Yeah, no, she knew, but I don't think she ever thought, because she's delusional, that anything bad would come of it. You know what I mean? Like I definitely know that she knows he's I keep wanting to call him an enforcer, or someone that's a disciplinary. She knew that that's the whole point of sending him there, but it comes across as like I don't think she knew that. I think she was delusional to think that anything like this could happen, but a little kid that's 3 can only take so much with their body. Like that's the way that it kind of comes across. So she should have this little boy should have been taken out of the home a long time ago. And I don't know if like CPS was called, they never did anything, or they didn't really check, or it was like we fake everything. It's just she wasn't capable of being a mom. She wasn't capable of handling her child. She's not fit. you know? And I feel like the dad, which I really feel like the dad's in jail. So wherever he is, it's almost like his beliefs are, well, if you can't handle a child, send him to this guy. Like, that's kind of how it comes across. So I don't know if there's a link. Again, there might be a link. Or like he at least knew him or knew something. I don't know if he knew of him before or whatever. But I don't know. This is weird. And the tactics that he uses are way too rough for a 3-year-old. They're way too. It's too much. This is ridiculous. And it's kind of making me angry. And I usually don't get angry and get emotional about kids' cases, but this is really ticking me off because there was absolutely no reason for it. There was no reason for it, for what he put that kid through or what she put that kid through.
The poor baby.
Because he's a sweet boy, and I feel like he just wanted love and attention and a childhood, and he wasn't really getting a childhood. It was always like rules, regulations, and even if he would follow those rules and regulations, they'd always find fault in it so that they could abuse him. It's almost like there's something mentally wrong with both of them, obviously, that they liked hurting him, almost like they got pleasure out of it. It's really sick in the way that it's coming across. And as far as like him leaving, like running away and getting out, that's not what happened. In my opinion, I don't see, it's like they keep showing me bolts on the door that were always locked that he couldn't have got out. And even though like he wanted to escape, I feel in his mind many times he was afraid to at the same time. Like it doesn't come across as I'm gonna be able to get away. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't I keep getting a reference to like this case that I've seen recently. I don't know the details of it, but like she used to keep her kids in like a dog crate. Like I keep getting a reference to that. So I don't know if like he had some kind of crate or something like that, but I also getting like a tied up in the corner, like to get him to stay there, the smacking on the hands, like getting overly physical, starving, like there's all kinds of stuff that's going on with this poor kid. And it's like between with all of that, so, I feel like I keep feeling like I'm being shook all of a sudden. It's almost like a shaking baby syndrome, but I don't know how old that has, but it's almost like I feel like my arm's being grabbed and I'm like being shook. So there was, I don't know if the guy lost control over something small. It feels like it's something small, minute. I hope there wasn't SA involved in this. I don't want to misunderstand that. It feels like all forms of abuse. I mean, mentally, physically, emotionally, it feels like it's all there. Like this kid was tortured.
And he does have a history of child abuse already.
Does he?
Yeah, he has a history of child abuse.
That makes sense. This guy's whacked. They both are. They're whacked. I mean, the kid's more at peace now than he ever was in his human life, and I hate to say that, but that's the feeling I get. It's a constant. Poor kid lives in terror constantly.
Yeah.
It's like evil. Ted just put devil horns on them. They're just not. Oh. Makes me this case is making me mad. I don't get mad. Like I'm able to separate myself. Like there's been a few times I've been really mad, like Quentin really got to me, but this one's just making me more angry than anything. Because he's very like gentle, loving soul. Like very, he's a very gentle, loving soul, and he never got the chance to be a kid. He never got the chance to be loved. He never got the chance to love.
Yeah.
I feel like this, from the moment like he could walk, but even before then, I get neglect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to understand what I'm seeing. I always seem to question it. Put tape on his mouth? I keep seeing tape on his mouth. For some reason. I don't know. So I don't know if he put tape on his mouth and around his wrist at some point as a form of torture. This is insane. There's something about like starving him too, or like a 3-day period. I don't know. I feel like I'm being shaken and maybe even slapped around a little bit. It's almost like it got out of hand. It's almost like the guy like lost it. Even feeling thrown. Like this was something, it almost like it happened out of anger, but like I overreact to something and I've lost it. And when it's over and done with, that's, it's almost like I see a frenzy kind of, I'm losing it. I'm trying to see with where he's. I'm kind of stuck because, I know they're already looking in the landfill, so I'm trying to make sure that that's not something I already know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a frantic phone call, or there's a phone call or something, but I don't know if anything's talked about over the phone or if they met or what. But there's a discussion about what happened, and then a cover up.
Okay.
And I think the whole plan was to make it look like he ran off, like to take his shoe and place it somewhere, to take this and place it somewhere. It's almost like there's planted evidence. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't come across as the kid just lost his shoe when he was running. It's almost like it was planted there to make it look like he ran off, because it's like they're trying to devise a plan, trying to devise a cover up type thing. And if they're going to report him missing, they want to report it as he took off. It's not coming across that way because of after what I just saw and everything. I've worked cases where I've seen, and I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong on this. But I've had cases where like they've showed me, the kid wandered off in the woods, like 2 or 3 cases like that. This is not like that. This is like something happens in the house and I see him laying there and then Ted has him. So it comes across as like stuff was planted and put in different areas to make it look like he ran off, or they're going to devise a story and cover their tracks. Right. But I do the reason why I was like kind of questioning the land, because I feel like cops don't look in the landfill unless they have a reason to, or they have a good idea to look in the landfill. But I've had such a hard time with location on him for some reason. And for some reason, again, the information isn't very clear coming in. So I don't know what the reason would be on that, but I keep getting reference to, I keep being put in a bag.
Okay.
Like a trash bag. And, a black one. And there's other stuff put along. I don't know if it seems like it might be in a separate trash bag. So maybe he cleaned up and put stuff. It's almost like multiple trash bags. And I wondered, did this guy have a vehicle?
Do not know.
I don't either. But it's like, I get a reference to like him getting in a vehicle, but like, because I get a reference to opening a trunk, putting the trash bags in there, closing the trunk. So you take the trash bags to another location. I just am trying to see if it's like another dumpster or if it's like another location. Okay. It's almost like I feel like I meet up with the mom somewhere, or there's like a meeting location. So I feel like he did like, I kind of get that reference to, you know, the ones that have unalived their wives and they've taken trash bags to different dumpsters. I think Jen Dulos? That was that one. I keep getting that reference. Like there might be different, like he might have taken the trash bags to a different dumpster or different dumpsters. But for some reason, I'm not sure that he's in the dumpster because what I keep getting is a shovel. And how a shovel sounds when you put it in the dirt, you put your foot on it, and how it sounds when it goes in the dirt, like that sound. I keep getting that. So I don't know where he got the shovel from. If he had it, bought it, his mom had it. I'm not really sure. But I think they're showing that with me because I was like questioning, like, is he in the, like, you know, is he in the landfill? And the way that I'm taking it, I mean, I don't know if they dig in the landfill or not, but there's something with, again, I'm getting a shovel and I'm like digging up dirt, but I'm in the woods. Definitely in the woods with this one. I haven't gotten anything like random with him, you know, so I don't have anything to like double check, but that's something that's repeating. So when stuff repeats, it's super important.
Yeah.
You know, so must be trying to tell me he's. I wonder if he's my woods from Audrey's reading. I started to think that before, but I questioned it because, you know, because of how my cases work and interconnect. But I remember getting the woods like an into the mind thing with the other guy, or it might just be similar. Because I'm kind of getting like a similar thing, but I'm not seeing like a structure.
Oh, okay.
Like an abandoned building or anything like that, but I am getting a reference to like woods and leaves and logs. And then there's some kind of like close by creek, or it's musky. It sounds musky to me, or it smells musky to me. Like it's like almost woods off of like a waterway, or woods off of somewhere where there's like marshy. I don't know if there's any place like that, because I'm hearing the stupid frogs again, but it's like I'm getting those leaves again, and I'm getting that murky smell, but it's not the exact same thing as I saw. It's just similar, like not the exact same thing I saw in Audrey. Like I think that other guy has somebody else somewhere that we don't know about, but this it's similar. So there's definitely, I'm getting like, but it feels like a shallow hole, like he didn't put too much into it because the baby's little, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like both of them are there. It's almost like mom's watching with her arms crossed and he's the one digging. So I feel like they might both know the location as far as what I'm being shown.
There is a river.
Okay.
There's a river, and I've got a Google Maps post from the people that are doing all the searches, and they've dropped pins where they've done all their searches, and they seem to be doing all the searches in the, what you would call in the woods, but near the river. So, and then there's also a Woodland Dunes Nature Centre and Preserve. So I don't know if that's some sort of Reserve. I'm just
Okay.
looking.
For some reason, I'm getting like a triangle, and I don't know if this is like one location, two location, three location as a triangle, or if
Okay.
there's a reference to some sort of triangle.
Just having a look.
But it feels like it's gonna be an area where the dirt is soft, so it's not in hard, because sometimes woods, the dirt is softer than it is harder. It feels like the dirt is softer and it's more like a dark, like, again, I feel that musky, that smell, that musky, and maybe he was past when I did Audrey's too. And maybe
Possibly.
that's why
You
I was
think it
getting
happened
that.
earlier?
Yeah, I do feel like it was like maybe around the same time, because I keep going like days before. I keep going to like a Saturday. It's kind of weird, but I smell like a musky, like the musky, like how soil smells. It smells
Yeah.
like that soil. But I keep hearing a shovel going into the dirt. It's like they did like a little hole, a little bit down. It's very, very. It's not like really deep. It's just enough.
So if it's near a river, it's probably moist and very rich.
Yes. It doesn't
So-
feel like it's like right on the river, but it feels like I can smell water. So I feel like I can smell water and that there's like marshy. Because if I go like, for some reason this time I feel like I'm on the right, but like the water's over here. So like if I'm going the direction, it's like I'm over here, but the water's like over here. It's really close, like I can smell the water. It doesn't feel like it's too far off of like a road.
Yeah.
I kind of get a brown sign, so when I get that, it's usually like a nature preserve or a like a wooded, like a, what do they call them? National forest. It's somewhere like that, but I don't know if he's saying like he's in the preserve or it's just really close by.
Okay.
Because preserves, I don't know like how they really work as far as like
Oh, it's like some sort of a dam from what it looks like on Google Maps.
Okay, so what they're doing now is they're taking me up. I'm getting like a aerial view. See if I can describe this a little bit. So the aerial view, it's like really, really kind of, how to describe this? It's really, really green. But there's like, I don't know if the river goes into like a, okay, you know how, let's see if I can explain this. Okay, so it's like the waterway will go into like a bigger kind of waterway, and there's like green on top of the water. Like I don't like sometimes like in the marshy areas, I don't know if they have this around there, but sometimes in the marshy area there's like the green on top of the water. And it's like a white, like stale water, like not running water, but almost like maybe the running water runs into it, but then there's like green on top. I don't know how else to explain it.
Well, the further inland you go, the slower the water would be because it's not as tidal coming from the main water source.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just having a look. I can show you.
But he's taking me to like rags and stuff that are in the bag that were thrown in to a dumpster that would be at the landfill. So if they're lucky, they might find that. But it's almost like I don't know if they stop the trash fast enough. Maybe there's something about Saturday. Like they need to go wherever. Saturday seems important, but like the Saturday before. But I keep getting like a whiter, but like it's like stale water, or there's stuff on top of the water. I don't know how to explain it. That's what they keep showing me, like above it. So again, reference points. We get reference points to kind of point us in the direction or give us an area. And again, I just kind of get descriptions. But it's almost like I feel opposite side of the, like if I were to, there's the water, if I were to cross the road and go into the woods, it's like, around there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll just show you. I don't know if you can see it. Is that showing? Hang on.
No.
You can't see that. It's just the background, I guess.
Okay. It's all right. I don't really want to see. I just need to know if like what I'm describing is there, and if anybody finds that. I don't even know if it's like how far. I'm not getting a distance. So they had all this time and they could have gone anywhere. So what we're looking for is like that, but it's like a place they know, or out, I hear outskirts. So I don't know if there's like a more of an outskirts place, like right outside of town, that would be a place like this. Like it's
there is that dam, which would be.
They're drawing me a line. They're drawing a line and they're crossing it. So that would tell me another city, another county, another state. It feels like another city, county. I don't know how close the state is there, but it's their line. They're definitely crossing it. So it's, but it could also mean like right outside of the city limits as well. You know, however you take that.
Yeah, this just looks like it's on the other side of town, the Woodland Dunes Nature Centre and Preserve, and that's got stale water there.
Okay. Because it feels like, because it's almost like they knew that they were gonna search that. Like, I don't know if maybe they thought this out. Like they're gonna search so many miles out, right? So it's almost like they went further beyond that. So I don't know how close that preserve is, but it's almost like I want to go outskirts, like out either outside of town or to another town or county. I'm not really sure, but it's like I cross a line. So there's a reference to 45 minutes. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's round trip. I don't know if that's one way. I'm not really sure. Like I could hear a lot of frogs though, like I did in Audrey's reading. It's kind of weird. Just makes me wonder if they're crisscrossing a little bit. And maybe that's why I haven't gotten anything random on it, because I kind of seen some of it. But I definitely feel like it's almost like I dug a hole, put him in it, and then covered the hole with leaves. I don't know if he's like, you know, buried enough. I don't know if that hand reference was like him or again that's somebody else that the dude has in the woods. But there's definitely it's similar. Not exact, because I don't really see, like I said, I didn't feel like I went down the same kind of dirt road. I didn't see, there's not like a cabin or anything like that. This is like wooded, you know, it's like water's on this side, roads on this side, woods on this side, and then the woods are over here, but there's stagnant water on this side. But up further it would be like a river or more flowing water. But it's like they keep taking me to an area that's like the water is still and there's like algae and stuff on it. And I don't think he's in the water because I hear the shovel. I hear the shovel of the, you know, the shovel in the dirt. And the dirt feels very soft. It feels very like kind of moist even. So I'm not really sure if there's been rain around there or if it's just like a moist area. You know, sometimes at nighttime, like the dew can make like an area moist depending on where you're at. So that kind of comes in. But I can smell it. I can smell like the soil. It smells very like musky and all of that. And I think there is a reference to like there's another log. Like there's a down log by where he's at, because that came in. See, I'm thinking they crisscrossed in Audrey now. In some of it. Because I was trying to see if I was getting the landfill, which I think there might be evidence on the landfill, but for some reason it's almost like I put him in the trunk in a bag. I meet mom, and we go to this place together because I see her standing there as he's digging. Like that's pretty clear. So I feel like
like she knows where he is, he knows where he is. It's not very deep, but it's almost like an area that they know, and it's like I keep going back. Now I'm getting taken back to the reference of that movie or that show that I saw where it was, I think it was Ghost Whisperer, and they were in the woods and they could hear frogs, and
Okay.
but that was like a national forest, so I'm not sure they're saying it's like a national forest or if it's like preserve or something. There's definitely water, like I could definitely smell the water.
Yeah. Now, there's definitely a spot there that looks like it's got stale water, and it's inland a little bit from the river. That's the only stale bit of water I can see.
Yeah, they're very adamant about like taking the aerial view and taking me to like a bigger area that's got still water, and it's like how on still water there all that stuff grows on top of it. Like I keep getting that reference, almost like I don't know if they're lily pads or what the hell they are. But that seems to be a reference point.
Okay, which is near an industrial area. By the looks.
But there's a triangle, so I don't know if he's like trying, like saying like where he's at is like triangle to like where the dude lives, and I don't know what the triangle is. Because sometimes like when you're watching like shows I watch, like they're trying to find missing people and they're triangulating an area, like, oh, they might be here because this is where he lives, this is where he works. Like it's almost like he's giving me a triangle from like, or maybe where he lives, maybe where he works, and it like triangles the area. There's some kind of way he would know where it was. I don't know. I don't know. I get the word village. I don't know what that means. And I wonder if there might be a little bit of like curve to maybe the road on the way out there, because I kind of get like a couple curves to it. I don't know if this is making any sense. It's like I kept trying, because he put him in a bag, so I kept trying to go to the landfill, but it's like then I got taken to the woods.
Okay.
I smell like I'm in the wooded area, but it feels kind of like maybe again another city, another county, I don't know. I'm super hot. And I had wondered if, because we got the headstones in Rachel's reading, taking us to this reading because they live near like a cemetery, if that was more prevalent to where he was. The
Forest View Cemetery.
Yeah. Because apparently he was seen there, but again, we go back to, the end of Rachel's reading when the cemetery came in and we didn't know it fit Elijah. So it just makes me wonder if I was being given that because this is where, he went missing from, or I would know it was this case, or I don't know if there's more of a meaning there. Like maybe he put him in the cemetery and we don't know. I don't really know the reference to that because what I'm getting is something different. Like I feel like he drove. for a
Yeah.
bit. And again, it's like I get in the car, I go pick up mom. It's almost like I want her to be an accomplice to this at the same time, like, or she wanted to be there or something. I don't know. But I can see her there with her arms crossed. So again, I don't know if they put him somewhere together or, you know, she feels a little like she needs to cover her tracks. But it's almost like neither of them really care. They're just worried about themselves and covering their tracks, and they think that they're smarter than well, the guy thinks he's smarter than everybody else, and
he's currently under federal supervision too. Before he was arrested.
yeah, he's a piece. Let's just say that. I just keep showing me the same thing. It's almost, you know, dig a little hole, put them in, cover it up, but then I put leaves on top and kind of make it look like, you know, like it's natural. But it's like if I go across the street and I go over, then there's the stale water. Like that's the way it's coming across. And I keep going back to that, you know, that piece of, I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's like a memorial marker or something of that sort. I don't know if this is making sense. I'm trying to get like more, but it's like there's not much else to describe, unfortunately. I don't know. The color yellow seems to, I don't know what that's about, but
Okay.
I'm getting the color yellow for some reason. It's not like not super far in either. But the road's not very far either. That's what I mean, like the road's not very far. And it's almost kind of, yeah, I get maybe like a tilt in the ground too. Like it tilts off and then it goes flat. Or it might not be even, you know what I mean? But it's almost like there's a tilt off, like where he's at, like a tilt before, or it's uneven before. I don't know. So I don't know if it like kind of comes down from the road or what that really is.
Yeah, if it's the place I'm looking at, it's off a main road. I think it's got 310 on the road. So maybe is that a highway, or I don't know how you do your numbers over there. It just says a 310, and that goes past where that stale water is. Roads on the left, the stale water's on the right.
And there's a reference to like, I don't know if this is like a pier or a boat rent. It's like one of those wooden things that lead out to the water. But I don't know if it's like, you know, dock, like a dock kind of thing, dock looking thing, like that's kind of coming in. But it's like really close to water, but I don't feel like I'm in water. It's like I keep hearing the shovel. So I don't know where you got the shovel or what you did with it after or whatever. I don't know.
It almost looks like there's a big, long dam wall.
No, this wouldn't be. This is not a dam wall that I'm getting, but it's kind of weird because in Audrey's it was like go back to the dam. And I don't know if it's an interconnect. You know what I mean? Like similarities, it could be, but this is like a dock, like a piece. It's like a wood planks that go out to the water, like they have docks like that. And it might be symbolic, or there might be one in the area. I'm not really sure. But it's like I also see him, you know, throwing the shovel in the trunk, shutting the trunk, and then they get in the car. You hear the doors close, so you know I can hear all that. I think maybe it took him like 10 minutes to do this. So like I said, it's like shallow. It's a shallow thing, but then it was all covered up to. But for some reason, it feels like it's really close to a log or something like that. Like.
Really close to you.
Yeah, but like it's like kitty corner to that, then it's like all marshy. Like I keep getting a reference to like really close to like a marshy type area, which would also account for like the still water and the stuff on top of the water, but like it feels like it's marshy, you know?
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of little tributaries going off this main river, so there's probably quite a few different spots that, you know, would where there would be soil for them to dig. I just can't find any sort of.
But it's like I'm on the other opposite side of the road from the water, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like it's on the same side as the water, but it feels like I'm on the opposite side. But it's like it just feels marshy for some reason. I keep hearing stupid frogs again. So now I'm just wondering if like there's some interconnects in Audrey's, but or even maybe who knows, maybe he was missing before Audrey, you know? I don't know, or around the same time, because it definitely the timeline's off.
Yeah.
But I also get like are there any, I know you said there was like you said it was like a factory area, but is there a smokestack in that factory area?
I'll just have a look.
Or like abandoned, like I keep getting like maybe an abandoned factory or a factory that's not working anymore, but then there's also like, because I keep seeing like kind of like cement like buildings, but they look run down, and then I keep getting like something that looks like a smokestack. I don't know if it is a smokestack, but it's like, again, something just that would be in the area. I don't know why they're giving me that unless it's to like say, okay, yeah, it's around there.
Unless it's over the other side where is there a crematorium maybe?
I just keep seeing smoke, but it seems like it's like something higher, like in, you know, like a smokestack would be or something like that. I don't know.
Just having a look on the other side.
I can also hear like birds, so I don't know if there's like a nesting ground around there. It feels like I'm getting kind of the reference. I don't know if they're cranes or some kind of other bird, but it's like, because we have cranes here and they make these really loud noises, and we have like nesting spots. And I'm wondering if it's something like that, like there's a nesting spot for like birds or something. It might be like an endangered nesting spot. I don't know, but
hopefully someone that lives there can validate it.
Yeah, a lot of people. That's the thing. It's like I see it like I'm there, so it's hard. And so I have to go by people in the area, and I just put this out in order to try to help. But I keep getting like a bunch of birds, so I don't really know.
Okay.
I don't know if any of this making sense. And there's also a reference to the number 5. I don't know what that's about. It could be May. It could be 5 weeks. It could be the 5th. I'm not really sure. It could be 5 years. I don't know. When he would be 5, I don't know. But there's a 5 that I'm getting, unless it's something to do with location.
I'm just going back. They've got a lot of streets named like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I wonder if it's 5th Street.
I feel like I'm hot, super hot right now. Like I'm having a heat flash.
I mean, it's coming in pretty strong. Like I said, I can smell the woods. Or musky, marshy. It almost feels like it's outside the search area. Like, I do feel like they drove for a little bit because, like, they knew when they reported him missing, they were gonna search, the surrounding areas, and they don't want him found because they don't really want to know what really happened to him.
Yeah.
Because they want to play with this. Oh, he ran away, or oh, he just went randomly missing. I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting much else. I guess I'll pull cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so I pulled some cards. Well, only half of them for now because I ran out of room, but I'm just gonna go through what they are. I'm not gonna use the extra camera and do all that because I'm feeling kind of exhausted and burning up here for some reason. Okay, so we have, and cards can be so it's a matter of perception with cards. They're not always literal as you see them either, and they're kind of like an extension of you. So especially with the location cards, it could be things around the area or things that are important to this case, which seems that way. All right, so we have a death card. We have the kidnapped card, but it could just be because he was somewhere else. Mine obviously wasn't really kidnapped if she let him go there, but in the cards, it's, that's the best way to describe it. We have a homicide card. We have an imprisonment card because the kid was imprisoned. We have a deceased card, and we have a trapped card because he was trapped. He couldn't leave. He's only 3 years old. We have a missing card because he's still missing. We have poison, so there may be some kind of poison or paraphernalia involved. We have fire, which I kept seeing fire, but I don't know the reference. I don't know if he burned something. I don't really know what that's about. And then we have stabbed. So I didn't see that, but that's the card that came up. I did see him wailing and going crazy. You never know. I mean, you never know. So then we have, for location card, the location cards. Now these could be things used in the location. This could be, different things by the area, close to the area, on the way. So we have, or where things happened as well, but we have the tunnel card. We have the beach card. So I know that there's like water over there. Like a beach area. It's by the water. Two Rivers is. So we have beach. We also like anything that's near, like water. It gets considered like a beach area. So we have beach. We have water. We have boat. So again, there's water. And then we have the inside card, and we have wooded area, and then we have the fire card again. So I don't know how fire was used or what was used, but we have underground. So if he was buried, but we have landfill. So the landfill is important. So there is something in the landfill. I don't know if it's him because I kept seeing what I was seeing, but we have the landfill cards. There may be evidence there, or it could be close to the landfill. We have the portal card, which I don't really understand what that card means. Private property card. So there might be some private property nearby or something. We have bones. We have hidden. We have water supply. So again, more water stuff. But we have buried. There looks like there's a public building somewhere above ground. So I take that as like maybe like a shallow grave, not a really deep grave. Sexual intentions is kind of a weird card to pull. Burned again. So it's kind of making me wonder, because I was seeing the fire. I keep pulling the fire card. I don't know if he tried to or if it's evidence. I'm not really sure. You have the outside card, stored, and vehicle. So a vehicle was used, but could have also been stored in the vehicle for some point in time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And then, so things surrounding the case, we have weird science. So someone said, you said he was into trafficking paraphernalia. He could maybe have something to do with making it or whatever. It might even be involved. Maybe he was giving it to the kid. I don't know. I didn't get that, but I mean, I do feel kind of out of it. We have government agencies, so obviously there's government agencies involved in this. We have an alarm card, so I sometimes take the alarm card as like a time thing. But it can also be like there was an alarm, like, kind of a warning sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I usually take those as either or, but there's a gift of some sort. We have a meeting, so they met somewhere. There's protection for some reason. Microchip, so again, I take that as like a phone or tracking something or using some, like looking at the phone or computer or whatever. We have healing, because there is healing through this for the little boy's soul, in my opinion, because he just had hell on earth, unfortunately. We have a blackmail card, so maybe he kind of threatened the mom with like, well, it's partly your fault, you say anything, you know what I mean? So there could be some blackmail between those two. There's abuse neglect card. We have the solved card, though. We have the justice card. So in one way, shape, or form, since the solved card and the justice card came together, it's going to be solved. There's going to be justice. But again, there's money for some reason. So I don't know what the guy was doing, or I don't know. There's a debt of some sort, too. We have an unseen danger card, which that's because the mom was too delusional to see what she was doing. We have the rumors card. So there's rumors going on. We do have a witness card. We have evil card, because there is evil surrounding this. We have social media card. We have the dating card. So I don't know. Again, if he connects to the dad in any way, or if these two were like friends, but you know how that goes with female males. I don't know if there was ever any dating there anywhere. We have an incoming message card, so there's some kind of message, but it's next to the exposed card, so maybe an incoming message is going to be exposed, something on the phone or something like that. We have the curse card, which I found interesting because I was getting like she thought that there was something bad in her kid, like so she could maybe think that's how I could kind of take the curse card, like maybe. I don't know if they're into dark magic or they're into like that kind of stuff, and like maybe she thought there was something wrong with her kid. I don't know. It's kind of, I get that feeling. And then we have the cult card. So remember what I said about how like maybe their community believes this, or maybe even part of that culture. I'm not saying all of it, but part of it maybe that's kind of like this is what they do. I don't know. We have DNA. We have jealousy. Down the rabbit hole. There's fraud. So that could be in any form. They could be lying or whatever, but he might have it. He might have other charges, like we were talking, like federal charges. There's secret, but it says secret fraud. So maybe he's doing some kind of fraud that we don't know about. Mind control. They were probably trying to control the kid in some way, shape, or form, and that's why they were doing what they were doing. But we have manipulation. We have mental health, and we have anger. Those all seem to jive. Okay, so we have, I'm going to just tell you guys the rest of the cards I got. We have camera card, evidence card, so there might be some kind of evidence on camera. It might have been caught on a surveillance camera somewhere. The affair card's there, so it just makes me wonder if there was anything between those two. We have the phone, we have FBI. So there might be evidence on the phone, maybe tracking it. I don't know if FBI is currently involved. I'm pretty sure they are, but fingerprints, physical evidence, footprints, and planet evidence. So planet evidence came in the reading. And then we have usually 3 cards is what I pulled these, but they all make sense, so I went ahead and did a couple extra. We have lies, deception, and potential cover-up, which we know. Strange phenomena involved. and it shows I thought it was interesting because it shows a graveyard.
Yeah.
But it's strange phenomena, like I was saying, like I don't know if she just thought that something spiritually was wrong with the kid or something. I don't know. But I keep pulling weird cards like that. So, and then surveillance cameras may provide important clues. Victim had a history with the killer, which we know, and then killer is a predator type who tracks a specific type of victim. So it seems like, you know, if he does this a lot, if he has past with abuse, and if he's, you know, people take their kids down, which I can't imagine, but maybe that's why that whole cult came in. Maybe there's certain people that do. I don't know. So we have a main male that's judication, so in the court. Family room, maybe something happened like in the living room, family room. We have a message again, so there might have been a message between those two, and I got the lover card again, so maybe there was something at some point going on with those two. I don't know. Occupation, like this was like what he did, I guess. I don't know if he got paid to do it or not, but then we have a pathway, we have poverty, we have courthouse, so they're going to court, in court. We have bad health, and that could be mental health as well. We also have the house card, so something happened inside the house with the child. We have the child card, and then we have distant horizon, so maybe a little bit further. So how I could take the distant horizons card, and then we have bad reputation. So I don't know if one of them has a bad reputation. So we have stalker, so you can take that, you know, that he was watching the kid because of stalking, watching, obsessed, you know. An offer, so maybe she offered him something. I don't know, because it's like almost like, did she pay the guy? Did she offer him something else? You know what I mean? Memories, so flashback, trauma, side effects, haunted. There's a moving card. I don't know if that means the body or one of them. Happiness, hater, so unbothered. Somebody's unbothered by it. There's arguments, physical fight, at war, competing. So there's some kind of, I can take that from what I saw with what he allegedly did to him. It's physical fight, physical like stuff. That's what I keep seeing. Hustling, so money. So if he had issues again with trafficking in the past, that could be why, you know, you're focused on making money. We have legal issues, court, judges, immigration lawyers, all of that stuff. So anything that's in the court. So that could be the court case. That could be where they are now. Any of that. Broke ass. So somebody doesn't have a lot of money. Never had. So there's no facts. There's no facts in any of this. This is never has the facts. Makes shit up and lies. So that's what they've been doing. Scarcity tactics. We have wasting time. Stuck. No changes. Limited. So they're wasting time with stuff. Probably not doing a lot of talking. And then we have child services. Kids at risk of being taken or about to be reported something, neglect and abuse. So that completely fits this situation, in my opinion. So anyways, I don't know how good that is. I don't know if it's helpful. Hopefully it is. It exhausted me. I feel like super hot during this reading. It takes me back to that fire. I just wonder, I don't know. Because in the wood, like the shovel is very, I can hear it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Definitely the landfill feels important. They're searching it for a reason. There might be evidence there or something. I didn't get my normal stuff with landfill like I usually do, like in Quentin and stuff, like hearing the trash truck and seeing the trash. I didn't get any of that. Again, that doesn't mean it. It could also be like the areas by the landfill, but it seems important because it came up in the cards too, and they're searching it for a reason. But I don't know.
I wonder if the fire card that was coming up is relevant to the smokestack you saw.
It could be. It could be, or they could have burned something, or I'm not really sure. He could have been burnt at some point. Like, I just know I'm super hot. And I'm usually not hot like this in a case. I mean, I'm having like heat flashes. And I know spirit energy can do that. So, you know, their energy can cause that, where I can get get hot like that. Like I don't tend to get cold. I'll get spirit chills, but it's not like a cold chill. So, but I do get heat flashes from them, but it's a lot of heat flashes that I'm getting right now. But I just don't know if it means like if it's anything to do with where he is or where he was. Like if it's anything to do with something that happened to him or where he is. I don't know. Or it could just be spirit energy, you know. And my head is like killing me. But I feel like there's multiple things done to this kid, unfortunately. It's super, super sad. And it's all alleged, but you know, super, super, I don't like it.
No.
But I just, you know, when I wrote Vue, I feel like I'm in the area. I hope I'm right. All I can do is describe what I'm seeing and hope that it, you know, is kind of helpful to what I'm getting. I wish I could just point on a map and be like, they're there, but maybe my gifts don't work that way, but maybe one day they will. I don't know. I get very frustrated with location because of that, because I do realize that, like, where I'm describing could be basically anywhere. I get that. This feels like, I mean, the wooded area, I want to kind of say it in a way random, but in a way not. Like, I keep getting a reference to, like, it would be, like, kind of a big wooded area, you know? And it might be, like, across or close to where they were searching. I kind of keep going back to Audrey's reading where I was, like, adjacent to where they were searching. And I'm just wondering if, like, he was coming in Audrey's because of the timing of them missing together and the interconnect and everything. Like, that could be very possible.
Yeah.
Because of the flip-flopping that I was doing in our reading, like the flip-flopping to the girl sinking and the flip-flopping to being in the woods. Like, it could have been both of them coming in, but also because some of that came into the mind, there might be somewhere that he has, that the perpetrator allegedly had somebody else in Audrey's case. But that could be the flip-flopping, you know what I mean? But because I'm not really flip-flopping now. It's like I'm stuck in the woods, but I get a reference like the leaves in the soil, like really, really strong. Hearing the shovel, I smells musky, so I hear a lot of frogs. It feels like I'm definitely in nature somewhere. I definitely feel like I drove. And again, they may have stored him in the car or somewhere prior because the timeline feels way off. Like the timeline feels like this happened like way before it was reported. And then again, it was made to look like he ran off. Like, let's plant evidence here, let's plant evidence there, let's call this in like he ran off or he ran away from what was happening. But it's not. I don't see that. Like I said, I've done a lot of from the visions I'm getting. I hope that I'm wrong, and I pray that I'm wrong, and I would love to be wrong about this. But I don't feel good about this, and I haven't felt good about it since I, you know, heard about this case. It was just like usually whenever they run off, that's the first thing I'll see is like them taking off, or there's a reference to that, or I'll get a reference to some of the other cases that I've worked like that. But this is more of like a Quentin type case, but except for the mom's not directly involved. But if she hadn't sent in there, you know, which is ridiculous. It feels like, again, like there's some kind of, I don't know, again, if they thought like he was cursed, something wrong with him or possessed, or it's just so weird. Like the feelings I get around, like it's all delusional. And the guy thought he was like, he's just a psycho because he thinks he's doing the right thing, but there's some kind of like, you know, deal. I'll do this for you if you do this for me type thing too. I'm getting like some kind of deal there. And it might even be like, you know, certain acts or something. I don't know. You know, but it's like, unfortunately, the kid never had a chance, and child services should have been called a long time ago. But I don't know if it was like she put up a good front or people wanted to mind their own business. Like, you know, the family maybe didn't really know, because maybe the family wasn't so involved, you know, because I noticed like on this, like the news and stuff, it seemed like it was his dad's side of the family, because they seemed like, you know, Asian, not really hers. So it just makes me wonder if like they didn't really know, or they weren't really involved in the kid's life that much. And if they were, Or maybe she kept them. I don't know. Like, they seem to care because they're out there looking, but it's just like there's a distance there or a block there that I'm getting that maybe, you know, maybe she like kept them from everybody, or, you know, things were made to look a certain way and they weren't. Like, it just feels like she flew under the radar more than she should have in regards to what was happening. And I think the dad's just as bad. So I think even if he knew what was going on, shoot, maybe it was his idea. I don't know. But there's, you know, because he wasn't around.
Yeah.
Like, here, take care of my kid and do this while I'm gone kind of thing. Because I keep pulling him in, allegedly, like, more like connected to this other guy, you know? Like, maybe they were into the same circles or did the same things. Like, you know, if they're both in trafficking, I don't know. Which is weird. I didn't pull the trafficking card, but I don't think like he was sold or anything. It doesn't come across that way because I wouldn't be getting an area, and then I wouldn't see him with Ted, and then I wouldn't see him on. It's like I see him on the ground in the living room, lifeless. So there's, you know, they keep showing me that when I start questioning it, and then I see, you know, all the cover up stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if later on I'll get anything stronger, but I definitely feel like I'm in where I'm describing. It's very vivid because I can smell it, I can sense it, you know. And I feel like a road isn't far, but it's like you could park your car there and kind of hide it. Like, so there might be like a little pull off area or you could pull down the road, you know, like a side road, like you pull off the main road onto a side road and then you kind of go down a little hill. Like, it doesn't feel like it's very far from like a main entrance. But again, that might be where the like adjacent to where they were searching at. If I was getting a crisscross in cases, which sometimes freaking happens, and I have no control over it. Like, I don't have control over what I get and when I get it, and it's just like a puzzle. It's just like a puzzle to me as it is to you guys. Like, I literally have to figure out and think about maybe why I'm getting it. You know, but so it might be that it might not be the exact area they're searching, but maybe close to it or across from it or something like that. Like, but definitely it feels like that water seems very significant as a reference point. So they'll give me reference point to put me in an area. So, you know, if they had cadaver dogs, I think they would do pretty well at maybe finding him if they were to go into where I'm describing, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And that might be the barking dogs. I mean, because I don't think they really used them that much in Audrey's. I mean, they did, but she was in the water, so they didn't use them that much. So I might have been getting the cadaver dogs for this case. Like, they were probably missing at the same time or really close. That's why the crisscross, you know.
I think there was something in the news about the police getting sniffer dogs and drones and all sorts of different technology to help try to locate him.
It's like because Spirit will show me like a reference point to put me in an area, so that water, the still water with all the stuff on top, like seems significant as a reference point, you know. And so maybe if they took dogs in an area like that, they'd find them. But it's like there's a reference to now when I'm talking about like smokestack and all that, like that could be it seems like it's in the distance, like I could see it far in the distance, you know what I mean? So it's just, again, like what would be around, but that water just it keeps repeating. So when stuff repeats, it's super important. We got to pay attention to it. I mean, like, I should have learned that with Audrey, but it's you know, with the sinking that I saw for a week. But it's hard when things flip flop, you know. It's like I don't understand it. I have to try to make sense of my vision the way that you guys do, and it's not always either easy to interpret or understand. So I just do the best way that I can, but there's a possibility of him being found. Because I keep hearing dogs around me, so I don't know if they're close or if they've been close or if I'm getting like when he's going to be found kind of thing. I mean, the searchers are doing a really good job, you know, as far as covering areas and stuff, and covering all their bases. It's kind of like, I think in a way they know it's more of a recovery than, you know, they're looking for a missing kid that's ran off, because it you know, I don't think it really comes across that way. I think, you know, of course the cops know more than we do and all of that, but I do keep hearing dogs. So it's almost like they're close or they're going to be close or I don't know. But that could be the like a jank sense, you know, like here's a search area and now go across to the other side. Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully this is helpful. It doesn't feel like one of my better readings, but I can only give what I get, you know. So we thank you guys for watching, being here, and supporting the channel. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.